92.6 FM, Radio Verulam. We love St Albans.
So, Rick, welcome. Just tell me, the u3a is sort of well known, and yet there'll be an awful lot of people who don't know quite what that means.
u3a actually stands for the University of the Third Age, mainly meeting people in the later part of their lives. The idea, of course, is that we all get together and offer opportunities to meet people, make new friends, enjoy learning, just for the joy of it, with no prerequisites or even exams, and you can share your hobbies and skills and learn even new ones.
It tends to be people who are no longer working for one reason or another.
It's not designated as a retirement club. It's more of people, like you say, who are not working. There's no age limit, so anybody can really join.
But if you were working but you wanted to join an organisation where you could meet other people and share a learning experience, could you do that even if you're working full-time?
Indeed, Rob. We actually have members that are still working. Some of them are working in schools and colleges teaching, so they do part-time. So they fit their membership of the u3a in with their schoolwork.
Okay, so that's therefore is in effect open to everybody. You are the Chair of Verulam u3a, which is obviously in St Albans. Digging around, I found there were a number of other u3as within the district. There's another one in St Albans, there's one in Chiswell Green, there's one in Harpenden, is that right?
There's actually 3 in St Albans, and we all have large membership. I mean, our membership is running at the moment, surprisingly, at around 450. But I believe St Albans u3a is running at somewhere between 800 and 1,000 people. And then there's also VCV, which is Vercombe Valley. And you're correct with Chiswell Green, there's one in Radlett, one in Harpenden.
But there's over 40 in Hertfordshire, which is astonishing. If you're talking about those sorts of average figures, there's an awful lot of people in u3a.
And it's very well presented because of the content that we all put together. There's nobody from outside our u3a that's influencing us in any way. Verulam u3a is actually a member of the national u3a, which is over 1,000 around the country, and in fact now it's getting to be worldwide. There obviously is a head office in central London, and we are a charity, a trust charity, and we obviously report back to them, and that's how it's worked out.
How does it work financially? Do members pay a set fee to be a member, or do you pay for the activities? We'll come to those activities in a moment, but you need money.
Yes, because we hire a hall, which we meet in once a month, which is right in central St Albans, Dagnall Street, in the church. We have to pay for that. Our membership at the moment is currently just £10 a year. That doesn't sound too much, but when you have 400 to 500 members, it allows us to cover the cost of the hall and ancillaries, like we put on tea and coffee and biscuits at the meetings. We also have a speaker every month at the meeting. The month before last, which was actually about Verulamium. We had a talk there, and it was all about the history of Roman St Albans, which was terribly interesting.
Who was giving that talk?
That was a chap from the Ark and Ark.
Hertfordshire Architecture and Archaeological Society. That sounds an interesting one. Now, that's the monthly meeting, but you've got a list of activities that go alphabetically from antiques to yoga.
That's exactly what we have got. There's 43 on that list.
They don't all take place once a month in that same location. Explain to me how it works.
First of all, a group can be started by any member. If somebody feels that they've got an activity they'd like to share and they're very interested in, all they need to do is to let us know, and we will publicise that to the other members. Members then will make contact with the group leader, and then it's up to the group leader to decide where the venue is and the frequency of the meetings. Some meet in pubs, a lot of them are in homes. The outdoor activities are obvious, like golf, for example, bowls. We have all those on the list. And it doesn't necessarily have to be once a month. I was in a cribbage group for a while, and that was every week we played cribbage. So it's up to the group leader.
If you are interested in joining a particular group, do you then pay extra cost for that?
There is no cost to join an actual group. It's only if the activities that the group decide to put on, for example, visiting a museum, anything that involves a cost, like the bowls club, you would obviously have to pay for the bowls. But to join the actual group, there's never usually a cost. For example, there's 3 walking groups. I'm a member of all 3 walking groups. There's absolutely no cost to a walking group, and one walking group walks twice a month in the summer. So I can be walking in the summer 4 times a month.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got one on there called Bus Pass. Most of us, of course, that have retired have got bus passes, and that particular group puts on an activity that involves getting on buses to go somewhere, and that's all arranged and worked out, and that's how I went on one to Bedford, and we visited the brewery there. Very interesting.
So you just pay for the expenses related to the activity?
Yes.
Beer seems to come up once or twice in these group titles. There are lots and lots of people, obviously, who have joined u3a, and that must suggest there is a need there, and that need could be for problems of loneliness, of isolation.
That's absolutely correct. Many of our members are on their own for whatever reason, and they do find a lot of solace in coming along and either putting on a group or joining a group, learning, having fun.
Now, COVID has put a bit of a kibosh on a lot of things, including people meeting in rooms. So how have you coped with it?
Well, we had a big difficulty with that, Rob. The normal monthly meeting that we would have in the church hall, we've now been carrying out on Zoom. And also for people that either cannot get onto Zoom or are not very au fait with computers, I also then record it and upload it to YouTube so they can watch it at their leisure. I do that every month. We've been doing that since September. I think we have 5 groups now that are meeting on Zoom. We have an account, and what we do then is that the group leader meets me on our account and starts a meeting, and we have 2 book groups, a social history and computing, and they've been meeting quite successfully. And I do know there are members that have their own Zoom accounts that are meeting as well. So we've been keeping in touch that way.
Do you know whether you've lost touch with any large number of members?
Well, we currently have over 400 members, 425 I think. We did have 550 or 560 before lockdown, so we have just over 100 lapsed members, which I have to say, Rob, I'm rather surprised it isn't larger because of the fact of the activities dropping off. But I believe all those that have not renewed for this year will renew next year, I'm sure of it.
I'm sure once you know what's going to happen after June, July, whatever, you can then reactivate it by contacting all of them, so on. If somebody wants to join Verulam u3a, what do they have to do?
There are a couple of ways that a new member can join Verulam u3a. One is that they can come along as a visitor on the second Tuesday of our meetings in the church hall at Dagnall Street and obviously talk with us about it, talk to the membership secretary. They don't have to make a commitment, have a membership form and fill it out. Or the other alternative is to go online to our website and they can do it all online, even the payment.
If somebody's listening to this but they're actually outside the immediate district,
we have no restrictions on distance. Anyone from anywhere can join our u3a. There's no restriction at all. And in fact, we have lots of members from other u3as joining ours and a lot of our members join theirs. We have members from Chiswell Green, St Albans. There's no distance limit.
Just to clarify the difference between the monthly meetings, this is where everybody who's interested gets together. There's often or always a guest speaker.
There's always a speaker in our case, yes, which takes about an hour. But it is mainly a get-together where there's news displayed, there's events displayed, new groups.
We talked about a variety of different groups, activities, sports and so on, and there's the bus group that gets on with their bus passes and goes off all over the place. Is that the only travel opportunity that there is?
No, we have a very able chap who organises group trips, large variety, at home and abroad. For example, like theatre trips, we've actually got some at the moment, Carousel, The Beauty of Ballet, Cinderella, Classic Spectacular. We've also got one in November at the Royal Albert Hall with the Philharmonic Orchestra. And that's just the theatre groups. There's trips arranged by coach to such places as Sissingham Castle, Worthing, Wealdon, Dunland, Winkworth, and abroad, which is even amazing to me. We've currently got trips to Mexico, Transylvania and Devon, but previous trips have been arranged to South Africa, Russia, India, Copenhagen, Costa Rica, and even Cornwall and the Scilly Isles. Amazing.
It is quite a range of opportunities to travel through what I thought was just a group of people getting together because they like to talk about something they're interested in, and they off to go to Mexico.
Oh, it's amazing. It really is amazing. And the thing about this all comes all back to what we were talking about a little earlier. A lot of people would love to go to these places, but not necessarily on their own. So they want to go with people they know.
Rick, one of the reasons we're talking is because there's a very important date coming up this very week. 2nd of June?
Absolutely, that's the National u3a Day, and all u3as are putting on a variety of activities as we are, and advertising, all really to get people interested in the u3a.
Now, how can you do that during COVID? Because you can't ask all these people to come into a room. What's the process?
A lot of them are activities involving advertising, having a stall up the market to obviously show people that are passing by who we are.
So it's a promotional effort by u3a nationwide to say this is our national day. And you want to reach out there to people who don't know that the u3a exists.
Exactly right. I mean, I didn't know up until just literally 2016. I never knew of the u3a at all.
And what brought you to it?
I retired in 2016 and I started to settle down. I got to December and I thought I must be doing something. So I thought, I know what I'll do, I'll go walking. So I literally Googled it, came up with this group, and it was actually called the Verulam u3a. And I never even queried or thought to myself, what did u3a mean? And I joined the group in January. And I walked with them for 6 months, still not knowing what the u3a was. And then one of the walkers said to me, do you come to the meetings? I said, I didn't know we had meetings. She said, yes. She said, actually, it's one next Tuesday at the church hall. I went along to that, Rob, and I was absolutely amazed. I could not believe it. There was 100 people in this room, and I didn't see one of the people from my walking group. So that's how it started with me.
Well, okay, Rick, thank you very much for all this information about the u3a and about Verulam u3a. We look forward to seeing your stall. That's going to be, which month is it going to appear in the main street in St Albans?
We're looking at July now, Rob.
Great. So in July, everybody look out for the u3a stall, which explains even more than Rick's given us today. Thank you very much, Rick.
Thank you, Rob.
92.6 FM, Radio Verulam. We love St Albans.